Hello, I'm Lizzie and this is Lizzie Reads, and welcome to my Back to Fantasy Round 3, the Adult Comfort Zone. So we are going straight back into getting back to fantasy. I'm trying again. I'm going to keep going. I've entered the adult area. So I've been doing a series, which I'll link at the playlist of down below, where I have been doing small baby steps to get myself to where I want to be able to pick up an epic fantasy and just have a great time. I started with middle grade in episode 1. I did YA fantasies in episode 2. I did a little mini round where I read fantasy novellas, and now we are going to adult books. The adult books have got multiple sections. I've just hit my Christmas tree. Adult books have multiple sections in my sort of plan, what I'm going for. But what I'm going to start with is my adult comfort zone, and that is Robin Hobb books in the realm of the Elderling series. I'm over halfway through the overarching series, which is broken up into mini trilogies and series. There's one quartet, which is the one we're going to be reading. That's the Rainwild Chronicles. If you didn't know what the realm of the Elderling's about, it is a expansive world which it goes into so many different areas, but the book one in the overall series is Assassin's Apprentice, in which we meet Fitz Chivalry Farseer, who is the bastard son of the king in waiting, and he has been dropped off at court by his maternal grandfather, because his paternal grandfather is the king, and they say, look, we don't want him anymore. We can't afford to keep him. You're royalty, you take care of him. And he is trained to be the assassin because he needs to be useful, and they need to keep him close so that he doesn't try to make a claim to the throne. It gets very complex. It goes so much more than that. It's absolutely beautiful. One of the best fantasy series I've ever read. It's really captured my love of fantasy, and it's kept me wanting to read fantasy. It's kind of the purpose I want of me reading more fantasy, and me wanting to do this project, because I want to be able to read more books like this, and I want to find more books that make me feel the way this book does. So I thought, as we're in the middle of the project, we need to go for a comfort zone. We need to, it's been so long since I've picked up a Robin Hobb, a few months or so. I've been reading them for over a year, but it's been a few months since I picked it up, and this is one of my goals, to be finishing these series. So I'm going to move on. And so the Rainwild Chronicles doesn't follow Fitz's story. It follows the Live Ship Traders. So there's the Live Ship Traders, which is the first trilogy that's not about Fitz. So it's the second trilogy in the overall story, and we're revisiting them again. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit more evolved than that. But I'll go into sort of a bit more details on it later. But I have all 4 of these books here to read. So what I do with the Elderlings books is I follow along with the Elderling Along, which is hosted by Becca from Becca and the Books, and it's just a book club, and they finished now. I'm very, very, very behind them. I was never on par with them, but they have live shows for each of the books, which I'll link the playlist. I think Becca's got a playlist on her channel. I'll link that down below, because that's really helped me keep my passion for reading these big fantasy books going, because I'm really excited to watch back their discussions, and I listen to them like a podcast after I finished each of those books. So you will be seeing me do that in this vlog. I'd like to finish them in a week, and that is ambitious, very, very ambitious. So we have the first one, which is Dragon Keeper, which is sort of 500 or so pages. Then we've got Dragon Haven. Then we've got City of Dragons. This was gifted to me by the lovely Bewitched Bex, who I love so much. She's such an angel. She gave it to me for my birthday. And Blood of Dragons. So I have them all here now. We'll see how we go, but I'm not sure. I'm really, really not sure on how it's going to go. I haven't even started, but I do have the audiobooks. All the audiobooks are available on Scribd. So I'm going to let you know how I get on. Hello. So this vlog is kind of failed, because I'm at the point of Dragon Keeper, where I was sort of thinking to update, sort of things are starting to happen. We've had the introduction. I'm on page 182, except it's Thursday. I wanted to be over past this point, way past this point on Tuesday. I wanted to finish the book yesterday and then read a whole of the next book today. That hasn't happened. It's been a bit of a crazy couple of days. Not anything bad or anything really novel or anything. But yesterday I went back to the office for the first time in a couple of months. I'm due in the office all of next week. And there's just been lots of preparing, like shifting things around. Work's been super busy. And in the kind of way where I haven't been listening to much audiobook. Like I normally can. So yeah, I'm kind of gearing up for the fact that my reading's probably going to take a dive. I don't want it to. I'm going to try and make the best of it I can. So listening to audiobooks on my drive if I can. I can't always. Sometimes if I feel particularly tired, I have to listen to music to like pump me up. But if I'm feeling like, you know, fine, like normal, so like in the morning basically I feel like I can listen to an audiobook, and in the evening I feel like I have to listen to music on the way home. A little dance party, if you will. But yeah, I'm on page 180, and yeah, I think I've been introduced to like the main characters. We've got a little like marriage of convenience, but that's not really working out kind of going on. I'm pretty sure I figured out what's going on there. I'm pretty sure it's pretty obvious what's going on in that particular relationship. And we've met Thymara, which is a really interesting character. She's a Rainwild's child who's born, when she was a baby, she was born with claws and scales already, whereas the Rainwild folk sort of gain their scales and their hardened nails over time, is what I'm gleaning from this. And usually these children are killed, are just left out to die or potentially even murdered so that they don't suffer. Tintaglia then goes off with the black dragon from the last series, and she has mated. Mated. She has a mate? I don't know. They're in a couple. The dragons are in a couple. The big dragon. I'm intrigued by that. So then the dragons that were hatched at the beginning of the book aren't very sort of capable by themselves. But they are angry, and they're angry at Tintaglia, and basically they are trying to trick the Rainwilders into taking them to a place that they think they can thrive, that they've gleaned from their memories of eating some of the dragon's bodies and the wizard wood, which creates the live ships, blah 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 blah. So that's sort of where I'm at the moment. I've got to kind of understand what's going on. It's quite easy. I just feel very comforted and at home in the Rainwild and in the realm of the Elderlings. So I'm really enjoying it. And it's just nice to be reading a fantasy book. But it's weird because where I've been reading so much romance, I'm expecting like romance at every corner. Like everywhere. But I've heard there's lots of more relationship stuff in this. I'm just reading on my break and they're sailing on Paragon. So cute. Sorry, it's just a bit low budget this evening. It's Friday. I've just finished work and started getting ready for my Christmas party, and have been listening to Dragon Keeper, which is book 2, book 1 of the Rainwilds. I've just finished it. I'm thinking instantly 4 stars. I really like the Rainwilds, but I believe that this is supposed to be 2 books or 3 books that have been sort of split into 4. So it has a very, very abrupt ending. I'm thinking about 4 stars. One of the things I really like is that Robin Hobb always sets you up with a character that you expect is going to be sort of one way, or a really good person, or even like an annoying person. And then she really works, her character work is incredible. I just think she's really good at making you sort of change your opinion on characters often. That's something she's really good at. Her characters are so convincing. And I'm really interested in the plot and the idea of the dragons and the dragons moving and who's doing what for what person. My hair looks a bit wet because I've got so much hairspray in it because yeah. But I'm gonna watch the live show now whilst I get ready, and then what I'll do is on the train either finish the live show or read the next book, which I will take with me. Hello, not much to report. It's been well over a week since I last picked up Dragon Keeper, but I did read nearly 50% of the book this morning, so that is pretty good. I started reading Dragon Haven this morning. I did some overtime at work, and it was really nice and easy. I could just stick my earphones in and just get on. And yeah, so I managed to, and on the drive there and the drive back, I managed to listen to nearly 50% of Dragon Haven. I've got some Christmas lights we're going to see tonight, so I'm going to go and see those and hopefully get some more reading done, like on the way there and on the way back. Hello, so just for continuity purposes, everything's gone a bit crazy. So the last I spoke to you, I'd did some overtime yesterday. I'd gotten to page 262, so about halfway through Dragon Haven, and I was enjoying it, but I didn't say much about it. I was going to go to some Christmas lights, try and get some reading done, and just carry on with my working week. I was hoping to have lots of nice clips of the Christmas lights. This was like one of those places that you pay to go to. We didn't make it, so we were running a bit late. We were going in a big group, sort of like convoy. There was a flat tire. We were delayed, and then it started snowing, and as we were driving, we just slid on some ice, and basically it was too dangerous to drive, so we didn't go. But I'm very grateful for, obviously, because we might have been stuck further in some snow because it was like really bad in the area, because obviously roads around here are not made for snow. Sorry, Cassidy, if you're watching. So yeah, but because of all of that, we had to stay over at my mother-in-law's last night, so we didn't come home, and then come back home this morning, and now I'm working from home today. I'm just having a little coffee break. It's cold, so I'm wearing my hat and wrapping up really warm. But yes, so that just because I said that there was going to be Christmas lights, and I just thought, you know, yeah, I'm supposed to be working in the office for the rest of the week. I don't know how that's going to go, obviously, because the conditions are really bad. So I don't know how, but conditions are fairly bad. So I don't know, like, if I'm going to be able to drive in tomorrow, and there's also lots of train strikes. So basically, I just don't know what's going to happen. I'm listening to. I'm going to do some more listening whilst I'm reading, whilst I'm working, and try and focus. So I've got page 262, and yeah, we'll see how we get on. And yeah, I'll let you know what happens. But so far, I've been enjoying it. There's a couple of there was something I noticed yesterday that was a little bit annoying. I think with the teenagers, bizarre. The coupling up situation was really bizarre. Oh, one of the things that I didn't notice is that some of the characters are like overly naive. So, for example, there's a moment when Cedric, who is escorting the wife of a Bingtown trader, and then they've ended up on the dragon ships, on the dragon barge, like taking the dragons to Kelsingra, which Kelsingra is, I assume, the Elderling city that we see in the last Tawny Man? I don't know, the last series that we read from Run with the Elderling, so from Fitz and the Fool. Fitz and the Fool? I'm not sure what the series is called. Yeah, so I'm assuming that that's the city they're heading for, and so they're trying to get there, and Cedric doesn't want to be there, and seems like he's basically trying to take dragon pieces to sell so he can take off and have a different life. There's a moment where someone has found out what he's doing and is trying to do the same thing, and that he's trying to team up with him, but he doesn't understand what he's saying, and it is so annoyingly naive because it's just he's being so obtuse. I feel like he should know what's going on. It would make sense, but he doesn't. So, and there's a moment when Elise is looking at so she's looking at this plain evidence about something that's happening that she has all these questions about, and she's a very, very intelligent woman, but she's just not putting the pieces together. It just hasn't crossed her mind that this particular circumstance may occur, and it's just a bit annoying. I understand if there was like one moment of naivety, it wouldn't be so bad, but the fact that there's so much is really annoying. But yeah, Karen, listening and let you know. So it's the afternoon, I'm just on my tea break, and I've just finished the very, very, very last page of Dragon Haven. I have so many mixed feelings about this one. Still good mixed feelings, but just a lot more feelings. This one feels very romancy. There's lots of well, not romance, but it's very focused on the sort of relationships between characters and consent into sort of like falling into relationships in this sort of society, and it's very interesting. And even the little notes between Eric and Detosi I loved. I just found it all really fun and enjoyable. There was a couple of times when the pacing just it was going really slow, then all of a sudden we'd skip a load of things in a time that I didn't feel like we should be skipping, or just a time when I felt like it's a bit rushed. I think some of that's down to the publishing issues that I've been seeing talked about a lot about this series, but definitely really, really enjoyed it. I think like a 4.5 stars, to be honest with you. But I'm going to listen to the Catch Up Book Club chat about it, and then get on to reading the next one. I just got home and it's freezing. That's why I still got my hat on. This is the vlog of the hat. I'm at page 215, and I'm going to listen whilst playing Dreamlight Valley. I'm really enjoying it, seeing some of the old characters, and I have sushi, so sushi enough for a full family, but I'm going to eat all to myself. So it's Friday. It's been a little while since I updated, but I'm on page 200. Where is it? 247 of City of Dragons, and very much enjoying it. Just took a couple of days off just with working in the office. Like, it's just been I've not been able to read as much and not felt in the mood when I have had time to read. I'm working from home today, which is good because then I can listen. I've got so much to do. I've got so much work to do, and some of it I could really, really do with like strong, like something to keep me focused, and sometimes I feel like an audiobook can really, really help with that. So I am going to listen to City of Dragons. I've got a few meetings this morning, and then once those meetings are done, then I will go and listen to the audiobook all the way through to the end. Fingers crossed. Hopefully I can get there nice and easy. Yeah, so that's currently what I'm just doing at the moment, but I thought I'd give you an update before I started. Hello, so I've just finished City of Dragons, and before I watched the Elderling Along live show, I thought I would tell you a little bit of my thoughts. I think this is probably the one I like the least. I feel like not much has happened, like everything's happened, but also not much as well. Like, it's not been as slow and meandering as the other books, and I've really been enjoying that. So definitely not my favourite, probably just like a 4 stars, but I'm going to watch the live show and see what the others are saying and see how that informs my thoughts. Okay, so I have watched the live show, and these ones for the Rainmars haven't been, like, I've enjoyed them and I've really liked watching them, but they haven't been as like instrumental in my reading of this series as I have with the previous ones. I think because there's more to like discover in the Fitz books, and there is more things that sort of go a bit over my head, whereas these ones are just a little bit easier for me to digest, so I don't pick up as much. It's more like I'm more interested in like what their thoughts are, and like what everyone's saying, and like the little rants and things about different characters. Interesting that I think some people in the group aren't liking it as much as I am. I think I'm definitely enjoying it more as we go along, but I'm really enjoying how easy it is to read, and I just like being in this world, but I would rather be reading a book about Fitz. So these vlogs are more about like my progress and trying to get back into fantasy, and this definitely helps because this makes me want to read fantasy, so that's good. I'm just sort of at the last sort of part of my day now for work, so I'm going to try and start listening to Blood of Dragons. I've got an overtime shift, 8 hours tomorrow morning, so fingers crossed I can listen on my drive and my car journey and then be finished before I come home for the evening. That would be really good. So just a quick one, I have finished the Blood of Dragons. It went really, really fast actually. I feel like the pacing was really weird, but I'm just doing some quick like boxing up of some Christmas gifts for some friends. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch the Elderling along, and I'll probably give you a full update and thoughts and like loads of chat later. And that was it. That was all I filmed, and it's now about 20 days later. Christmas has been and gone, New Year has been and gone, and I didn't finish this vlog. Now, there's not much else to really say other than the fact that I did enjoy the books. I enjoyed where they ended. The last one, the pacing was a bit off. It went a bit up and down, up and down. I felt a bit all over the place when reading it. Nothing said in the Elderling along really changed my opinion on that. There wasn't as much sort of discussion in these ones that I felt I really needed to like bolster my reading, but I still really enjoyed watching them. But I just didn't have much more to say, and I had the December of crazy things that happened and just so much going on, and I just never finished this vlog. So if you've watched this, I do feel like this really helped me. Now I'm sort of in the mood for fantasy and in the mood for a few different things, but I'm just not not quite there yet. So Back to Fantasy round 4 is coming soon, but not too soon. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you again soon. Goodbye.